What's going on, you guys? Fust here, and I am back with another video. In today's video, we're doing in-depth Warwick jungle guide. Warwick won the poll, as you can see right now. If you guys want to vote for the champion for the next poll, for the next guide, make sure to do that. You hit the notification so you see the polls whenever they go up, so you have the chance to vote. Every single poll lasts for 24 hours, so vote within those 24 hours to make sure that your champion gets through for the next guide. Now, with that being said, let's just get right into the runes for Warwick. Now, Warwick's runes. Warwick is a very good 1v1 champion, very good for the early game, and you can really pressure this with the press the attack rune. Now, in games where you do have a lot of melee champions on the enemy team, / a lot of tanks on the enemy team, Conqueror is also viable. If you just have a very tanky enemy team with a lot of melee champions that you can like very easily auto attack a lot and just keep hitting, then Conqueror will be more effective. So in those situations, pick Conqueror, but in any other case, pick Press, simply because this will easily proc and you will get a big damage increase. Just landing your ult off this will already proc Press on people, and this will just chunk them down, really. Just easy 1v1s, making your 1v1s even stronger, and it's already really difficult to beat a Warwick 1v1 throughout the game, really. So to enhance that, pick Press, it's the best one really. Then you go for Triumph. You want to look towards frontlining as Warwick. You will get focused if that happens, and if you get focused like that, you'll lose a lot of HP obviously. So any type of assist or whatever you get, 12% missing health is worth a lot, and this will help you stay alive, and that's really what you want. Also, the additional gold is nice for kills. Now, going from there, you have the Tenacity rune or the Alacrity rune, really. Usually I just pick up Tenacity, but if they don't really have any CC, then there's no point, and you might as well just get at extra attack speed at that point. It's never really a bad thing. Now with Warwick and this 1v1 situation, you will likely just you will likely just have fights where you trade a lot of HP and you get low, and then last stand will just enhance just the strength really. And the healing you can get at that point. You will have a lot of attack speed in those situations, and this just does the most damage really. Could doesn't necessarily help you too much. It's mostly the last stand. You'll get focused, you'll get hit a lot, so you can proc this quite easily. Now, cut down obviously isn't worth it since you are building quite tanky, but yeah, I mean, Could doesn't really provide Warwick all that much. You're not an assassin, you're a tank, so you're going for sustained fights, you're going for like taking more damage, and then last stand is just going to be more valuable. Now, as a secondary rune on Warwick, it's like pretty simple to just go for Celerity. All movement speed bonuses are increased by 7%, and Warwick's entire kit is basically based on his movement speed. So his W's all of that move speed will go up, and this will give you a significant amount of extra move speed, which as just a single rune on Warwick is worth a lot actually. So just picking this up is very worth it. And then also to follow that up with Nimbus Cloak is just, it's by far the best one to go for, since Nimbus Cloak pretty much allows you with Red Smite to be able to stick to targets quite easily and also get better engages. Because as soon as you just run up with like an enhanced W and then Celerity, for example, just you can get the extra move speed, or even if you like have your W active, whatever, just have your W active. Celerity, you can smite anybody, and they will really never be able to get away from you. You just get so much movement speed on Nimbus proc alongside this that you can just run into like an enemy team, get the best position, fear like 4 or 5 people to make it engage, or just catch somebody off guard or out of position or whatever. It's really easy in this situation. Pretty much just allows you to stick to people, catch them a lot easier, and just get kills that way. So it's really heavily early game focused. Another thing you can opt for instead of Nimbus is Water Walking. This will get you like quicker through the river, better scuttle fights, better dragon / rift herald fights, but I find this to be overall more valuable as a rune right now. So this is like pretty much the setup for Warwick when it comes to just any game. There's no real variance. This is just by far, like, Celerity is insane on Warwick. The only really different thing you can pick up is either the Alacrity or the Tenacity, or the Nimbus Cloak and the Water Walking can be switched, but apart from that, there's nothing else that I would recommend you to pick up. Now, going for the runes right here, it's just attack speed. This helps a lot with just jungle clear in general. Yes, you do get a lot of attack speed from your W as well, but this just helps you get that initial like HP lowering going a little bit more effectively. get adaptive force, and then just pick any armor or magic resist depending on what you are facing. So let's say you're facing Elise, Evelyn, all that type of stuff, just pick magic resist. If you're facing anything else that is just physical damage based, then you can pick the armor. There's no real need to pick anything for your jungle clear, because you have more than enough sustain on Warwick, and it's really difficult to get to die to your jungle camps at this champion. So that's really it for the runes. If you guys have questions on this, make sure to put those in the comments below, and I will get into the item build now. Alright, so for the items, we have the Rejuvenation Bead alongside the Hunter's Machete. There's no reason on Warwick to go for a refillable potion, because your jungle clear is just so, you sustain so well. You pretty much are full HP the entire time you clear. And the only situation where you wouldn't be full HP is if you just fought an enemy champion and then you're 10% HP, whatever. But you'll heal everything back, so there's really never an issue with Warwick's jungle clear. So Rejuvenation Bead for a little bit of health regen is more than enough. But the main thing for this is that this builds into a Tiamat. So you get the 150 gold reduction on Tiamat, putting this item at 1175 gold. Which means that you just get it that much earlier. Tiamat is very core and is the initial item you need to rush on Warwick. This provides you with your jungle clear, because this will just give you the AoE damage to clear the camps, to clear the raptors and the crocs mainly, and then also help you with wolves a little bit, but they are still manageable. But without Tiamat, doing raptors and crocs just becomes a hassle on Warwick. You're just completely single target, and if you don't have this, then your jungle clear is going to suffer. And that's why you just rush this as soon as you can to be able to get your clear sustainable, and then off of that get the camps leveling up. So that's Tiamat. Now going from Tiamat right there as a core item that you need to rush, you can then just go for the boots. You can pick up boots and just instantly go for tier 2 boots is fine. You can also just go pick up normal boots and then opt for a Cinderhawk depending on the situation. Usually, it just depends on how much gold I have on Warwick, because if you have 800 golds on your back, or sorry, 800 gold on a back, and you already have maybe boots of speed and a Tiamat on the first back, then it's better to just pick up a tier 2 boots, so ninjas or mercs, depending on the enemy team of course. And then from there on out, you can then start building towards your Cinderhawk enchant, your Red Smite item. So it really just depends on how much gold you have. If you have 2500 gold and you just have normal boots of speed, you can just instantly buy, or 2200 gold or whatever. Just have enough gold for a Cinderhawk, then you can also just buy that. It just depends on how much gold you have. Let's say you have 1600 gold or whatever, you can then just pick up the Red Smite, pick up tier 2 boots, or pick up the Red Smite alongside Bami Cinder, which is fine. Usually what I do, simply because you do have Tiamat, I will prioritize tier 2 boots over picking up a Bami Cinder. So if you have 900, 800, 900 gold, I will usually pick up the tier 2 boots, get a control ward, and then upgrade into my Cinderhawk later on, since movement speed is very valuable on Warwick. If you have tier 2 boots, you're just going to have that much more move speed to react with your W, have the Solari proc and everything to just run across the map really easily and react to plays, react to be able to counter gank and all that type of stuff. So I do value tier 2 boots and movement speed very highly on Warwick. So this is just something you want to mainly focus on. Just get this done as soon as possible. This is a core build setup. And going from there, it's quite simply just pick up a Titanic for the extra damage, added damage. This is really the only damage item you necessarily need on Warwick. Obviously, if you are going for a Conqueror build, then you can go for, because in those games you will have more champions to hit, then you can also opt to go for a couple more damage items in situations. But usually this is all you really need. You will do enough damage, but you mainly need to be tanky enough to soak the damage in the front line and CC people down. So this will provide you with enough damage to sustain, and even if you're snowballing, just run over people in the early game. And yeah. Now, Titanic Hydra obviously upgrades from Tiamat. Titanic Hydra is very good on Warwick, especially if you press the attack, since you can just auto attack, then proc Titanic and then instantly Q, and it will proc press and just do a lot of damage. Also, Titanic is proccable in your ultimate. So if you just ult somebody and then proc your Titanic midway through, you're going to just do a little bit more damage to them in case you do need that. And yeah, now, going from this type of setup right here, this is the core. You pretty much do this every single game. Boots may vary depending on the enemy team, but the rest is just you pick this up in this specific order every game. And going from here on out, it's quite literally whatever tank item fits best. So you can opt to go for a Demon's Blade. For armor, this is just a very good item on Warwick in general for the move speed. So in armor situations, you will see me pick up a Demon's Blade quite a lot if I play Warwick, simply because the move speed alongside your W, alongside whatever move speed you have, you just run across the map at like 1000 move speed onto low HP targets, and there's not much they can do. So for people that are especially in the lower elos, people will overextend on lower HP more often. People will like make the misplay of going like 1v1 solo, then get low, and then just get ran down by a Warwick with 1000 movement speed. And this just is why Warwick is such a good and noob-friendly champion, especially very good in lower elos, because he's very easily like to punish people with. So this is an armor item. Another armor item that's good is the Thornmail. This will provide healing reduction as well, so if you do need that healing reduction, make sure to pick that up. The Bramble Vest is very good. You can even just pick up a Bramble Vest just to have the healing reduction. It just depends on the enemy team. Let's say they have like a Kane and a Vladimir maybe, then just Bramble Vest is just going to be very good. Another great tank item is Stone Plate. It's very cheap, gives you the 80 armor, 80 magic resist. I do say 80 simply because you are playing frontline, you are diving in. So if you ult in and proc Stoneblade, there's no chance that they're ever going to kill you. So Stoneblade actually holds a lot of value, especially since you are already building a significant amount of health, with Cinderhulk, Titanic providing a lot of HP, and then just another tank item as well providing health. Yeah, it's just very, very valuable as a dive champion, as a frontline champion, to have Stoneblade. Randomness is obviously going to be good into crit champions, and for magic resist you also have the Spirit Visage, which is obviously the main and best one for Warwick, simply because it increases all healing received, which means that Warwick's entire kit does like healing, everything heals, so you will be able to sustain yourself a lot better. And if you are facing most AP teams or AP champions on the enemy team, Spirit Visage will be more than enough for Warwick's kit to be like the best pick you can. Now in some situations where you are facing like Cassios, Karthuses, whatever, champions that just destroy you with the same skill over and over and over and over again, Adaptive is better. But yeah, that's really it for that. Now what would a usual setup look like? Depends on like who is fed, but usually first item will be either Spirit Visage or the Deadman's Blade as a tank item. And then you can still pick up the other one if you want to. But usually what happens is if I go Spirit Visage, at that point I probably will not pick up a Demon's Blade. And I will just go for either the Thornmail for healing reduction or the Randuin's if I do need the crit. But mostly it's going to be Thornmail simply for the healing reduction. And it's just a very valuable item in general, because it reflects damage that you take and you're going to frontline a lot. So if you get to this point, like this is your 5th item that you're picking up currently, Deadman's Blade holds less value, whilst if you pick up Deadman's as a 4th item, it holds more value simply for the game state and the time in the game you have right there. So that's a little thing there. So usually what I do, if I do pick up Spirit Visage at that point, I will pick up a Thornmail afterwards, and then end this build off with a Stone Blade. Now this setup right here is very hard to kill. You can easily frontline with this, and this will be very good for most of your games. So if you're not sure what to build in any game, then just kind of go for this setup and you should be fine. However, if you just want to adapt to the enemy, you can also just, if you are doing snowballing really hard. So let's say let's say at this point, you get this, you're like 8-0 or whatever, or 8-1, and just have a lot of snowball and presence. Then you can pressure and like enhance that snowballing with the Deadman's Blade, simply because this will offer more move speed, which will give you more presence on the map, which makes snowballing a lot easier. So that's when you would pick up Deadman's Blade, and then from Deadman's Blade onwards, you can then still pick up the magic resist item you need, but you can also get, of course, into full AD comps, the armor item, and then Stone Blade. I mean, Stone Blade is always really going to be your 6th item on Warwick, simply because it's just so strong. It allows you to just tank so much in the later stages of the game. You can always pick it up a little bit earlier as you want, but it just depends on if you are already team fighting and if already like you are frontlining into a lot of people. So that's completely game dependent. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the Warwick build. If you do have questions on this, make sure to put those in the comments below. If you have enjoyed this video so far, please make sure to hit the thumbs up button as well, as this does help me out quite a bit. And I'll see you guys in the gameplay section now. Alright, welcome to the gameplay section of this guide. As you can see, I am playing Warwick, of course, into an Elise. Now, as far as matchup goes, this matchup is actually not that bad for Warwick if you time your E properly. Elise is very much a champion that just has one burst rotation and follows through with some burn from her W spider form. So if you can use your E right before you get stunned, then she shouldn't be able to do much against you, and you just out 1v1 her. So you do have that going for you. But against an Elise, you cannot AFK farm too much, since you do have to play a little bit more pressure heavy to be able to contest, so that she doesn't just run over your entire team. So that's really something to think about. Apart from that, it doesn't really change the playstyle of Warwick a whole lot. You probably will just farm a little bit less and just play a little bit more aggressive for the 1v1s and objective contests. So my initial idea here, by the way, if you look at these lanes, you gotta identify what it is you want to gank early or what it is you want to play towards. So if you look at the mid lane right now, it's a Ziggs into a Kassadin. This lane is probably not going to be gankable unless Kassadin makes a mistake or walks up a little bit too far, since Ziggs is most likely just going to push him into his turret. And then there's nothing I can do really, because he'll just be under his turret. So for top lane, Camille into Renekton, you can quite easily snowball this matchup, since if Camille gets the lead, she just runs over people quite easily. And same goes for Renekton, so it's a very snowball heavy matchup, and if you could play towards that in the early game and get one gank or off or something like that, maybe two ganks, then that lane is quite quickly decided. And then bot lane, Misfortune, Sona into Vayne Thresh is also quite a good gank target as well, but this is mostly going to be after level 6, since you don't have any setup from that lane. So it's mostly just start and go clear towards top side, which is what you see me do, because Warwick early clear is very the same. You just clear double buffs, and then you clear the wolves and the gromp. This will, these camps, the Raptor camp and the Croc camp on Warwick, take way too long to clear. So we're just gonna have to opt for the quicker ones. So the double buff camp into these two, with these two camps together. And then by this time you can look for either a gank or maybe an invade, depending on what the enemy jungler does. Warwick invades quite easily, especially if you look at this matchups right here, because Kassadin doesn't do anything. So if I were to invade, I would most likely follow have better follow-up from Camille and Ziggs than their team could do. So I'm just gonna go and clear towards top side for this situation because of that. And then either look to gank Renekton if he pushes up too far, or depending on what Elise does, I might just invade her top side or 1v1 her at Scuttle or something like that. So that's the whole idea for jungle, for the early clear pathing. You just want to think about this when you get into the game, especially with Warwick, because your clear is so easy and so quick, really. So you're super healthy throughout it. There's no way you're losing HP, so you can just do either. And you can also switch this around if you want to gank bot lane more so. If you have a good setup from maybe a Thresh on your team or something like that, you can definitely do that and just clear towards bot side and gank bot lane and just go for dragons and stuff like that. Right, so I'm just simply clearing my camps. At the same time, while you're doing this, you just want to watch the lanes. So as you can see right here, usually if you have your W already, you don't necessarily even have to watch your lanes as much, which makes Warwick very noob friendly or very low elo friendly for people that just don't do it. Because at the moment you hear your W go off and you get the active, you get this passive going, that's the moment you instantly want to look. You'll most likely just look through your lane anyway. So it kind of helps you in a sense to have your W, because it will provide you knowing that Kassadin right here is low. So that goes off. You can identify what lane is low by usually the pathing from this as well, from your W, because you will have a path towards that target. So you can see Kassadin is low, and currently yeah, I'm just gonna still keep clearing, and knowing that Kassadin's low, I might be able to look for something. Who knows? So I'm just gonna go here and clear my camps, and as you can see, hit level 3 right there, and then I'm just gonna go and play aggressive towards the Elise. Now the Elise shows bot side in this case, which is very strange in my opinion, because how did she clear? What did she clear for is what I'm wondering here. After her showing bot lane with level 3, the thing I assume she did was do her entire bot side and then just nothing else. So she probably didn't take my my Raptors or my Krugs, and yeah, it's really that. So knowing that, and the moment you see the enemy jungler on the map anywhere, whenever you just see them pop up, you quickly click on them on the map, or maybe use your F keys or whatever to go to the lane, whatever you prefer. You click on them, instantly check their buffs. You need to know if their buff camps are up. Now in this case, I was planning to 1v1 the Elise anyway, as you saw, because I have my Camille pushing in the Renekton and I have my Ziggs pushing in the Kassadin. And Warwick is the most disgusting 1v1 champion in the game. So there's absolutely no chance she was going to win that one, and she had no lane backup to help her out. So I can definitely play aggressive, but in this case, I just get a red buff for free really, so I don't know exactly what she's doing right there. I mean, for free, I guess the Elise does get the kill on the Misfortune. So right here, as you see, my W is like active towards the Vayne. So the Vayne is, like the Vayne and the Elise rather. So I do have the 454 move speed, as you can see right here. Kassadin most likely will look towards warding his top side or whatever, and then I just walk in, use the extra move speed I have towards the Elise and the Vayne, and then just run. Like at the moment he's warding, I'm just gonna run at him right here, fear him. I initially thought he was just gonna try to flash straight away, but I guess he didn't. So you can just Q through him and then fear him right afterwards. And then he just dies from that for free. So I just get a free kill out of that, just simply from using the move speed increase for my W towards the Vayne and the Elise. And yeah. Now, after that happened, I saw the Elise obviously do the bot scuttle, which means that for a Ziggs that's completely pushed up with not too much mana, you have to keep that in mind. Obviously, you want to do the scuttle crab because, well, you need to just do the scuttle crab to get yourself some gold, and this will hit me level 4 as well. But you definitely want to go ham on the pings, because you need the ping on. I mean, this is Diamond 1 elo, but in Diamond 1 elo, people still just don't look at their map. So just spam pinging danger for the Ziggs and like pinging towards like, because Elise is obviously gonna go gank bot lane right now, right? So you see her go up there, so I'm just gonna ping that I'm on my way from this side in to back him up. He doesn't have mana, which I noticed. If he would have had mana, like half mana or something like that, we could have easily won this, because there's no way the Elise is gonna beat me at this stage. All I have to do is just pop my E and walk up to the Elise, fear her, and we probably just would have one-shot her at that point. But since Ziggs doesn't have any mana, I'm just gonna take that and I'm just gonna base. Since if you look at my gold value right now, I will have 8 Tiamat. This is a perfect back, and just instantly as you have it, you should go for the base. And this is where you can start to like clear your jungle more often. Now, one thing with Warwick and jungle camps is using your smite. I mean, obviously your smite has a healing, so the ideal situation for smite on most junglers is just to use your smite when you get lower on HP, so you get a tiny heal from it, which is a little bit more efficient. But on Warwick, you have so much sustain that it's better to just smite early and get the camp low enough to where you get your W on it, so you get more attack speed towards it. Alright, so here my bot lane has the pressure right now, as you can see. They are pushed in. My like Ziggs has the pressure over Kassadin. In general, Kassadin doesn't do anything early game. I mean, he should not like 1v1 die to a Ziggs or lose to a Ziggs that way, but he's never going to be able to roam out because Ziggs is just going to permanently push in the wave. Now, what I figured at this point, the Elise would probably be around top side, and I might be able to look for this dragon right now. So I'm just going to sweep, see whatever wards there are. Currently no wards, and there's also this thing which is almost out. So I'm just going to sit here a little bit and wait for the scuttle to go out, so I can then opt to go for the dragon the moment it's spawned. So as you see, my prediction for the Elise being topside was correct. Now, obviously, this is not ideal for Camille. She's going to get dove and will die most likely to an Elise dive, because Elise dives are disgusting. But just seeing her top lane right there instantly means that I can get a free dragon. Small thing for dragon, just hold your Q, just auto attack it once, then hold your Q, and you'll be able to dodge the knockback. can see right here, I just pick up the dragon. The Elise was top lane, and because of that, I know the way she cleared that this Gromp would be up, and it would be a level 2 camp, so it's going to be worth more experience. And I'm just going to quickly take that Gromp as well, and then just leave. Now, in this specific situation, because I do remember this, my bot lane had all the pressure in the world, which is good and all, except, like, they just don't respond. They are, like, even though the Misfortune might be low in mana, and the Sona doesn't have too much mana, all they have to do in this specific situation is just walk up to me a little bit even. Like, even just a show, and they would never chase me. So, as you can see right here, the Thresh gets the engage on me with using the plant. I get CC'd. I use my W right before the stun lands so I can get damage reduction from Elise Burst, which is the way you should play that. And now right here, my bot lane just did not respond. I assist ping multiple times, but there's sometimes just nothing you can do about it. And I kind of just get killed for that, which is a little bit unfortunate. Now, in this case, still, simply because of Warwick's 1v1 damage, it goes okay, I guess. Like, damage-wise, return-wise, I use the Nimbus Cloak to run away. And at this point, press the attack procs on the Elise and just pretty much get one shot. And I eventually died to the Vayne flashing on me. This should never have happened, because in any other situation, if my bot lane would have responded there, then I would never have died, and we probably would have just triple killed them, since Warwick is disgusting with his 1v1 potential. So yeah, it is what it is. You can't help it every single time. This pretty much does tell me important information though, because seeing that happen once in any given game from any given lane, right? If as a jungler, if you play aggressive like that and punish the enemy jungler for certain plays, but you do not get any backup from your team, and mind you, this is not low elo. Well, this is, for most people, not low elo, right? So, this is Diamond 1 elo. These people have, like, a lot of games in Diamond 1 Master, whatever. Even these people do not respond to the simplest assist pings and, like, the simplest pressure that they could have had there. So, you never have perfect teammates, and you will always have problems with like that, but you have to adjust to those. And in this case, I know that I'm just never gonna just play aggressive like that towards the bot side again, simply because I cannot trust them to follow. And this means I'm just gonna go and look for a place towards the top side, doing Herald, doing ganks for the ganks on Renekton probably, and just wait for their level 6s and maybe gank at that point. But I'm not gonna play aggressive towards the bot side anymore, simply because I will not trust the backup after seeing what just happened. So that's something to keep in mind. Like, some people might think, well, that's whatever happened there is my fault, or like whatever, but in this case it just simply wasn't. And you have to identify those situations. There's no point in flaming them. There's absolutely no point, so I never do that. But it's simply just, alright, I know that I cannot go here anymore, and I'm just gonna go maybe topside or just gank in general. And yeah. Now the Renekton gets caught, and I'm just gonna go and farm for my level 6, picking up the level 6, and then playing towards this Rift Herald. Now, something you have to know as a jungler, as any jungler, if you have a Ziggs on your team, at 8 minutes, do the Rift Herald instantly. Play for it, play as aggressive as possible, just get it as soon as you can. Simply because if you use it on a 5-plate mid turret, even on 5 plates, right, then, or like you might just gank the mid laner, even flash for it, ult for it, whatever. Like, you have a lot of CC as Warwick, and you probably will get the kill quite easily. Just pop your W, run up, eat them, ult them, and they're probably dead anyway. And then you just use the Rift Herald, and Ziggs will one-shot the turret pretty much. So just instant deleting a turret at 8 minutes in the game with a Rift Herald on Warwick is absolutely disgusting if you have a Ziggs on your team. So always, always, always play for that. Now, initially here, before going for the actual Rift Herald, I wanted to get Renekton off the map, potentially, because it's still a Camille, and this would be quite an easy play. But, like, just using my sweeper, seeing the ward, there's absolutely no way for me to, like, go for that. I'm just going to go and opt to go for the Rift Herald. Ziggs has the pressure, and the Camille does get killed in this situation, which is a little bit unfortunate. I kind of just wanted her to come to the Rift Herald, and if we fought for the Rift Herald, we would have had the advantage for sure, since Ziggs is a lot stronger than Kassadin right now, and Kassadin was pretty much out of mana. Any case, I'm just going to go and do the Rift Herald here, as you can see, and pick up the Rift Herald, and just instantly drop it mid lane. Like, I don't care, it's a Ziggs, it's the easiest turret, as you can see. He just puts his W down, Rift Herald hits, turret dies. And that's just one of the easiest plays you can possibly make. It's a very good play that you just have to remember. Now in this case, the dragon's respawning soon, so I definitely need to look towards resetting. And play for this dragon instantly off of that. Alright, so right here. And just put a ward over the wall to see if the Elise would be doing it. Elise engages on me, which is whatever really. She doesn't do anything against me 1v1, so I'm not scared whatsoever. As you can see here right now, this instantly tells, like, the moment she actually hit the dragon, she gets knocked back towards the wall and as far into the wall as possible, and Warwick Q range is just enough to follow this up. So I'm just gonna get here, Q over the wall on this Elise right now, because you barely have the range to do that. She goes up in the air with E. I just fear her, auto attack her, then proc my ultimate, and pretty much just one-shot her. She smites the dragon for just enough HP to, like, get out, really, and then gets lanterned by Thresh. But just that alone, like, they just die off of the Elise getting caught out, really. And at this point, yeah, that's just really it. I just ult the Elise right there, as you can see that happen. And all you have to do is just pick this off. They'll most likely try to focus me and just smite the dragon for some extra HP in this situation, as you see. Some small stuff you have to remember. And then just start hitting. You need to keep auto-attacking on Warwick. It's very, very important. Because if you keep auto-attacking, then you will start healing. And you will have a lot of attack speed. Either way, if you can Q people, you heal as well. So as you can see right there, just off of that, using my E for damage reduction, auto-attacking and healing, I am barely able to survive through that one. And get the kill, like get the kills, get the dragon, which is good. I'm back to clearing some camps. My entire jungle is up, so I definitely towards look towards actually clearing my camps and making sure that the camps level up. With Tiamat, your camp clear is pretty quick, so just get through that where you can, and then you should be good. Alright, right here. With the way my bot lane rotated, there's like, even though I don't have too much mana currently, there's no way this guy can make this play, right? Like, my bot lane is topside right now, my Ziggs is already responding, which is good. Off of the assist ping that I placed, and Ziggs probably just saw it himself. But this Renekton is playing way too aggressive right now. Like, there's absolutely nothing he can do. My bot lane is going to collapse. It's going to be a 4v1. He just dies. So this is way too aggressive. And apparently Elise was there as well. Renekton gets one shot. And Elise is never going to get out. Like, absolutely no chance. If I had more mana, I would have been able to just press W instantly and just ult towards him. And he would have just died off that. But in this case, like, it's whatever. And then we play for the other side on the, like, for another turret with Ziggs. Ziggs is a very, like, rotation-based champion, and you do have to play around that as well. So that's why you saw me just, like, drop that, get this turret down ASAP. Ziggs gets bot turret, Ziggs now also gets bot turret, like, top turret gets all of the plates. We literally got all the plates in this game, simply from the Ziggs just using his W to kill the turrets. And yeah. Alright, so in this case right here, Ziggs is basing, Kassadin is pushing up. I currently don't have too much mana, which is the main problem. If I had more mana, this would have just been a press W situation, and I run at him, and that would be fine, but I can't do that since I don't have mana. So all I'm gonna have to do right now is just zone this Kassadin off wherever I can. There's nothing I can do to go on top of him, because I don't have, like, I do have flash, but that's about it. So I'm just gonna have to wait, walk back and forth, make sure he doesn't ult out. Sadly, I can't do anything really there to help the Ziggs. However, I do pick up these kills. I'll just go back here. Alright, so you see me cutting off Kassadin's escape, because there's absolutely no chance I can just go over, really. So I do get the kill there, and then I just chase this guy down with my W on him. He's low, so there's nothing he can do. And in this situation, I was initially planning to hold my, like, flash auto attack, then hold my Q to dodge the stun. But that didn't really happen in that case, and it's whatever. Now, off of Elise dying, I'm just gonna go instantly into her jungle, take some camps wherever I can, just put her some behind, and then invest my gold, since I do have quite a lot of it. Now, with your W, as you can see, you run quite quickly, but yeah, it's with this, it's just play for the pressure, play for the objectives is the most important thing on Warwick. If you play properly for the objectives and use your insane 1v1 potential, and, like, obviously clear vision and get control wards and all that type of stuff, just play for the Rift Heralds and everything, and you just usually be fine. Warwick's early game is very dependent on yeah, just what happens when it comes to, for ganks, really. So it just happens to be how aggressive lanes play and how often like your W gets activated and all that. The rest of the situation is mostly just clearing, going for objectives wherever you can. And then when it comes to mid to late game, Warwick is just kind of a frontline tank type of champion. You do the engages, you soak as much damage as you possibly can with your E active, and that's really how those fights will go. Alright, so Dragon's gonna spawn, so we obviously want to play towards this dragon. We have been, and we just want to get like to the soul point and everything. So the Camille gets cut out here, and I'm just like looking for a potential play that we could make. The teleport comes in, and we do have a man down, so we definitely need to be careful. We need to play towards our strengths, because we do have the Ziggs poke, which is initially something we should go for, and then we could wait for like a Sona ult engage or my engage. When they get low off of Ziggs poke, I can then just kind of walk in with a lot of move speed and do the engage for them. That will also be fine. Just make sure that I am on the front line. As a Warwick, you have to be on the front line, making sure that you can do an engage or soak damage wherever you can, because your E does give you a big damage reduction, and this will go up as you put more points into it. So definitely do that. So as you can see right now, I'm just playing back wherever I can. The Misfortune gets stunned, but gets Mikael's by Sona, which is very nice. And the dragon is getting hit. Now, I'm not too worried about the dragon as much, since, well, if they really go for it, as you can see right here, the Misfortune ults, the Ziggs ult lands, and their entire team gets low, which instantly, if that happens, you get an opening as Warwick that's just super free, because you get so much move speed to do the engage. Just watch my move speed go up, right, as you can see right here. My move speed in the bottom left, I'm currently on 511, which is insane. As you can see, 730 right there. Like, this movement speed is crazy. Getting hit by anything with this move speed, if you just walk up and down in towards a team fight, it's just really easy to get. Like, as you can see right now, I dodge as much as I can. Right there, go in, press my E for damage reduction, then press my E to go in, ult instantly, fear the rest of the targets, ult to Renekton, CC them down. And even though I do get killed, I soaked literally all the damage from my team there, and they all survive. I mean, Camille is a non-factor right now, right? So she died earlier, but it's a 4v5, and I soaked every single bit of damage for all 3 of these targets. So that's really all I had to do. It doesn't matter if I die, because, I mean, obviously you're frontlining by yourself at this point without a Camille. So you're just going to get all the damage, but in this case, that's just all you had to do and all that needs to be done as a frontliner / tank. And that's just what happened there. Just do the engage. Make sure to abuse your movement speed, as you saw. And then you should be fine in any given team fight if you play it like that. You don't want to play overly aggressive when it comes to engaging. You kind of want to play it more reactive, especially if you have poke champions on your team. Or just, yeah, wait for them to engage or whatever. You can peel, but it's not smart to just jump in as a Warwick, because you don't have a complete AoE hard CC. If you can CC like BRIO targets one by one and just play it a little bit more slow, that's usually more ideal for teamfight stages. So that's something to keep in mind. Now it's just back towards some more farming for me. Getting through my jungle clears wherever I can. In this case, like, it's just a situation for me right now, just to clear some camps and just react to certain plays that that want to be made. So the Misfortune was pinging to go for this red buff, which is fine. I'm just gonna instantly walk there and follow up. Now, pop my W because the targets aren't getting low enough quick enough. So I'm just gonna pop my W, run in with the move speed. As you can see, currently 577 move speed, which is a lot. You just go in, press your E, Q through. I wanted to E the Vayne for the fear, but in this case she just kind of ran back. The moment she shows, I just ult her. We are good. Now, one thing to note with Warwick ultimate, by the way, is your ultimate procs all of the on-hit effects. So as you can see right there, magic damage and applies on-hit effect 3 times, which is really good, but this also means that you can proc your Titanic Hydra mid-ultimate and it will proc. So if you jump like a squishy target and you just like use your Titanic if you want to in between, it will proc and it will do a little more extra damage if you do need that. Now, off of that, we can just go mid lane, pressure this guy down. The simple thing with Warwick and his W is you can just chase people quite easily. As you see, I get a lot of move speed there. and the Renekton kind of just dies, so it's whatever. Use the Rift Herald mid lane, get that turret low. The moment Ziggs now shows up for that turret, it instantly dies because he just has to press W for it, so that's fine. Rift Herald was probably timing out anyway for me using it like that. And we could just go and play for Baron. I can tank this endlessly, so there's really no real issue. And we should be good off that. Now, all we really have to do is go for a final push. The ideal thing here, obviously, is this dragon that's spawning right now is going to be the soul, because this is the 4th dragon in the game that we're picking up. And just play for that. If you play for that, even if you have Baron, if you just create pressure and play for that soul, then you should be fine, because picking up a soul pretty much always wins you the game. And that's what I'm going to play for. I'm just going to pick up the soul regardless of what my team does right now, just so I can secure the fact that we win. Now, usually with the situation we have right now, the 10k gold lead, the Baron, the Ziggs, if you just get one team fight and just win that, we also win the game. But I just opted to go and play for this dragon, get the dragon, make sure that we have the soul in case anything goes wrong. Now my team just kind of wins at this point and they surrender, and that's that. But yeah, just playing for those objectives has really helped me here. I got a 22-minute soul from playing early dragon control, and the Rift Herald control allowed me to push turrets down with the Ziggs. If you have a Ziggs on your team, that just enhances the fact that you have to focus on the Rift Herald. Now, playing off of the Elise, what she did, this is a very early game pressured matchup, and I mean, the way it went was pretty well, but this is really how you play Warwick. You just kind of clear your camps. Use your W to react to certain plays, certain situations. Do watch the map wherever you can to make sure that you keep an eye out for it. Just play aggressive, focus the objectives is a very key thing. 1v1ing any jungler should be quite easy as Warwick, and with that, that's pretty much it. So if you guys have any questions on how to play Warwick, just make sure to put those in the comments below. If you guys have enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit the thumbs up button, as this helps me quite a lot. And yeah, see you guys in the next video. Bye!